Hola, good night, everyone. This is your host, Boricua Angie of Thoughts of a Light Skinned Woman. How's everyone doing tonight? So, I am, how do you say, having so many different emotions lately, and especially today. Happy Pride. Today, my daughter graduated, which I am so proud of her. So, congrats again to all the grads, the class of 2023. Okay, so this is my second part when it came to dating. Dating in this generation. There was a few things I've wanted to talk about from the last one because someone brought something to my attention that was it made sense. So but first thing, I wanted to give the definitions of two things when it talks about boundaries and self care. I found the picture here where it says benefits of setting boundaries, right? So the benefits are wards off burnout, improve emotional health, improve relationship, clear expectations for others, decrease stress, improve self care capabilities, respect from others, and self respect, and promote autonomy, right? Then it says personal boundaries are the limits and rules we set for ourselves with relationships. I feel relationships could be anything, an actual relationship with your friends or even family members. It says a person with healthy boundaries can say no to others when they want to, but they are also comfortable opening themselves up to intimacy and close relationships, right? Let's get the meaning for self-care. So, a few things I wanted to definitely talk about in this oh, I have it on airplane mode. Oh man. Okay, here we go. Let's see. Come on. Self care. The practice of taking action to preserve or improve one's own health. The practice of taking an active role in protecting one's own well being and happiness, in particular during periods of stress, right? Because we've talked about that. These things I've talked about. We live in times where we really have to take a moment to just sit down, breathe, and just kind of refocus. We're living in different times and it can get stressful, whatever the situation may be that can be causing the stress. But I've always said it and I've taken it more serious because we truly do have to take a moment to think about ourselves because self care is important. And as I talk about this for the fact, because like myself, I was on this dating journey, and I'm saying the word was, I was on this dating journey and I started back up again this year. And it was pretty interesting because what it shows me as I'm working on myself to be a better version of myself, like I said, not to be toxic, not to be the one anybody showing anybody any red flags for whatever reason. But as I'm taking therapy and trying to heal from past trauma, the whole generational curse that people talk about, I do want to make a change, but that also requires a lot of things with it. So as I'm going through this process, I feel that when it comes to looking for someone, that's also important. I don't want to fall back into the same place of someone wasting my time. Um, I feel like I've been doing better with asking the right questions, which, of course, again, like I've said, that's very important to ask the right questions in the beginning. But I feel like I've stopped things earlier than what I've done before, where I'm in a situation for 6 months to a year, knowing that it's not, you know what I mean? Knowing that it's not going to go, that it's not going to go anywhere. I've had to really set boundaries because those are important. I've had moments where I feel that when I've told people, or I should say men, what exactly that I'm looking for, I feel like I get a yes, yes, yes behind it. But you know how they always say, like, actions speak louder than words? I can't go off of words. I can never go off of words. Your your words are not matching with anything. There's no action. There's nothing that's letting me know that that's what you want. I I'm doing this show today, and I want to be very open and be vulnerable because I know that throughout the this year and even from years before, the dating scene has been very different, and someone's calling me and there's no name attached to it, but so it's pretty interesting, where things have gone. Sometimes it sucks because as serious as you can be, other people are still not taking you serious, right? I feel like I could put out there exactly what I'm looking for, and it's not what I'm getting back in return. I feel that with some people out there, I've made certain choices for a reason, and it's not a bad thing. It's not because I didn't like them or anything like that, but there's a reason behind everything. For the others, it was, that's it. There was just no coming back from it. There's no there's just no excuse. There's nothing. But I'm noticing a lot of very emotionally unavailable people, unhealed people. And I want to say the word people because it's not only just men, it's men and women, unhealed and unavailable emotionally. And it just kind of sucks because I'm in a place where, I want more, and I'm seeing the same speech, and I'm like, why do I keep finding, meeting people who already are in relationships or who just got out of a relationship, and I'm here like, I'm not looking for anything fun. I'm not at that age anymore. I don't even know if by the time I get older, if I'm going to be on some like single, um, do whatever I want if it gets to that point. But it's like, that's not what I'm looking for. Again, I'm in a different place. I'm in a different headspace. I know that I deserve more. I know that I deserve better. And that's the whole point. I deserve that. Just like so many people are out there looking for the right thing, but I deserve better. That's basically it. I deserve better. It's been kind of tough, this whole process. I feel like I've come across like having like pen pal buddies and people just wanting to talk, and I still haven't met certain people, and there's reasons behind it, but at the same time it's kind of like I feel like there's a time frame, there's a time limit. um I've tried to be patient, and I know they have to, but then it gets to the point where what's going to happen? So it's just not, you know. I also have moments where the judgment is real. Of course, I know what I post. I don't know if anybody's noticed that I've changed over time. Even my own neighbor who sees me and she's like, I remember the first time you came here, she was like, "You didn't look like that." She says, "You didn't look happy." But when she sees me now, she tells me, she's like, "You look great. You're smiling. You're just so different." And because again, everything takes time. You really have to find yourself. You really have to just get to a place in your life where that's it. Why should I sit here and worry about what anybody has to think? But the only issue that I have is that I've been in a place where I've been expressing myself more. You can see it from my hair to my clothes to everything. That is me. That is the look, the style that I want. I can go from conservative to like hot girl summer. I have many different looks. The only thing I've never liked is the whole thing of us women always being sexualized. We can't look nice, we can't look pretty, we can't look a certain way without being called or considered, that maybe we're not looking for something serious. It's like my head is like, who told you that? I've always said I don't have to be dressed like a nun or look like Mother Teresa in order, to still be a good woman. You first of all, you still have to get to know me. And I feel like I should be able to express myself and dress how I want to, just like everybody out there has their own fashions. And it's just kind of like I can go around also judging people for the fact of how, you see what I'm saying? I could go around judging people for how they look and making assumptions about them. And sometimes it just takes time for you to really just sit down and get to talk and know people. And of course, I'm gonna say it again. I'm in a place where I'm happy. Body positivity. I should be able to feel good in my body. I don't have to be a size zero. I don't have to be any size that someone should expect me to be. I'm supposed to be happy with who I am and how I look, body wise and everything else. I should be able to go out there and look how I want to and feel good about it, regardless of whatever. But as this dating journey, it's been very interesting. And if you could see half of the conversations I've had where I'm just like, where do you get this idea from? Who told you that from the first time talking to me, you can already start acting like you must love me or something by now? I've had people who have made me feel so like in one of those moments like, is this a joke, where I've had to have conversations with my friends or my guy friends and say like, look, I see what I'm reading, but like, is this for real? Is this like just just talking? One time I know my friend used the word love bombing, love bombing. So I've also come to a place where when I feel like things have changed and conversations have changed, and I've had moments where me and another person were on the same page, because if they stop talking to me, I'm not going to talk to them, but I know why they stopped talking to me, and I'm like, it's cool. I'm not going to ask you what happened. I'm not going to beg and plead, because I've learned some people like stuff like that. People want you to beg and ask and hit them up, and I'm like, I'm not going to be one of your beautiful stories of this girl kept hitting. Like, I'm cool. You need to just go sit down and get off your high horse, because you're bugging now. You are bugging. Uh, but it sounds been on the same page. Other times I've stopped talking to people because, again, it's just like, if you're really looking for something, conversation shouldn't stop. I've always said that conversation, you know, goes both ways, especially with texting. It shouldn't be just a one-sided thing. It should not be an expectation of me always having to hit somebody up every time, because it's been like that for me, and it gets to the point where sometimes I heard somebody say, like, people are not honest and say like, hey, you text me too much, or you're texting me every day, or they're not going to say it. I've only had a few people who would actually text me every day and I would text them back every day. And it's not often that that happens. Um, but yes, like I said, I'm in a different place, and I feel like, as all of us, whoever is still out there dating, you really need to ask these questions, look for the red flags, really ask the main important questions like, what are you looking for? The sad thing is sometimes people will lie to you and will sit there and say that they're looking for the same thing when they're not. It's one of those little games of, I'm going to tell her or him what they want to hear, and that's not fair. Some people, I appreciate them for being honest, because honesty is the best. It gives me the choice of what I want to do, if I want to continue, or what will be the next step of how things will go about differently. Because again, we should be given that choice. That choice shouldn't never be made for us. But of course, I appreciate those who have been very open and honest, and I appreciate that. And that helps a lot, again, in the process, because again, I don't want time to go by and get the complete shocker of, oh, so this, oh, that, because I don't think nobody wants to see me mad. I don't think nobody wants to see that. That's another thing that I'm working on. uh, and I've done pretty good with that, because I've always tried to warn people about, I feel like we all have those moments where it's just like, yo, like, don't get on my bad side. I already told you how I am, and you still went and did it, and now you're trying to say that I'm crazy or I look crazy because I didn't listen to you the first time. And I've definitely been avoiding that, and it's gotten to the point where I'm like, I rather let things be and keep it simple, whether I say something or not, than to go into like full, I'm gonna curse you out and make you crawl under a rock type thing. I don't want to do that, because that's what I'm saying. Like, I want to be in a different place in my life, because bad vibes, negativity, stress, all of that plays a big factor in your life too, and how a lot of things come into play with the vibes, and who's going to come towards you and who gravitates towards you. And it's about what you're putting out there, and what you're sending out there plays a big part. It's been interesting, I'm going to say. We're just in such a different generation. I have moments where I'm sitting down with well, not sitting down, but on Messenger with my friends, and we're like looking at people's profiles and having these conversations about, as we're reading it, exactly what the person's looking for and what's going on here. And it's just like, wow, what happened? What happened, world? What happened, people? Like, when somebody says, who hurt you? What happened? I mean, I didn't do it. I didn't hurt you. I have nothing to do with that. And I feel like half of us are in that place when it comes to that situation of, now everybody wants to take a break. While everybody wants to take a break and not pursue things, I'm here looking for something more. And I feel like this is the wrong time frame. This is the wrong time. I feel like I'm one of those people, like, the timing is completely wrong. It is completely wrong. It is completely wrong. It is the wrong timing. I feel that I wish people would take things a little bit more serious. Like I said, looking into help. Therapy is a beautiful thing. You could talk to your friends and family, that's fine, but therapy, where you could really talk about more, because the people there will will not judge you. I mean, they're probably loaded with so many stories of like, wow, this is what's happening out there. This is the type of stuff, people are going through. Well, that's just a lot. You know what I mean? And therapy is a good thing. I feel a lot of people need therapy, because people are sitting there hiding behind their fake, the mask that they're putting on, pretending that they're fine, and saying things about that, I'm in a place I want peace, and it's just like, no, you're lying. You're the complete opposite. You're sitting here saying what you want, but you're the problem of half of the things, and you're still triggered and are stuck with a lot of childhood issues that when you really take a time and said you really sit there and talk to someone, you will find out a lot of things. Hold on a second. You will you will find out a lot. All it just takes is just to like sit down and listen to someone and listen to what they're saying, and it says a lot. And I don't know if people don't catch on to that. I've been very open, and I said it in the last one. I'm very open because I'm okay talking about that I'm getting therapy. I shouldn't feel ashamed. I shouldn't feel ashamed at all. Another thing that I so now we're gonna go now past this. So another thing I've noticed when you're dating or you're going through this process, I've had people where again I'm talking about asking questions, but I feel that some of us are in a different place because I feel like sometimes people feel that if you don't answer their 1,001 questions, there must be something wrong with you or you must be hiding something. And obviously, that's not the thing. I can tell you certain things, but at the same time, it sucks because sometimes people say, you should be open and vulnerable. But then other times, it's like, I feel like I should say enough but not everything. It's to the point where it's just like, man, should I just give my social security number and everything else, But um, I feel that it's the regular conversations of like, what do you do for work? Are you married, single? Because you never know in this time and age. How many kids do you have? How old are they? Things like that. I've had people, of course, ask me like, is the dad in the picture? Is there one more than one father? What other questions have I been asked that I'm like, somebody one time asked me, what would you tell your younger self and all? And I remember I answered it. And for some reason, I felt like for him, it wasn't a good enough answer. But I'm like, if you knew what I went through in my life, I think that what I would have told my younger self was like the right correct advice because it all started from a very, very hard place. So it's just funny. People like want to get to know you, but are not happy and content with what the responses that you give them. I don't know what they're expecting. Um, I feel like I'm in a place where I'm happy because I was hearing today at the graduation some very truthful, inspirational stuff. It's like they say it's never too late of where you are in your life, like age wise. Like if you think you started late, but maybe you didn't. Like they said, maybe you're just on time. You could be doing something that works out now that probably didn't work out before. You know, age age doesn't even have to be something the minute that you get out of school. I feel like a lot of people are out there looking for, I don't know if they're looking for like rich people, billionaires or something. And I'm just like, look, I'm I'm living life. I have my job. I have my apartment. I have a roof over my head. I have a job. You know what I mean? Like I do many things. I'm in a rock band. I'm doing the podcast. I'm doing the things that I love, the things that I enjoy. I am going to live life to the fullest because, again, as I see that age number trickling up and it keeps going higher, I have to live my life. I don't, I know the reality of what can happen, but I have been taking care of that, and I'm happy that I've actually thought about things to have in place just in case. Uh, but I feel like when people talk to you, their expectations is just like, you read my profile, right? Because I never said that I was rich. I never told you I was a Kardashian. I never said anything. Also, the thing about people thinking that you must have a very high IQ, that when you speak to them, that you must speak very intellectually and with very long words to show them how smart you are. I could still be smart. I could still think very differently than you and very open minded and so looking at the world as it is and not sitting here thinking that I'm thinking about everything, not just here, everywhere and everything about how life is. But sometimes people talk to you like they expect you to know everything. Like you're supposed to know about politics and nature and how to be a grown up and this and that. And I'm just like, yo, relax. If you don't like the way I speak, if you don't like things, that's perfectly okay. That should have been the choice when you spoke to me and you heard how I was talking to make your decision of what you wanted to do. I really feel like they say you should never judge a book by its cover. Again, I don't have to be Albert Einstein. I don't need to have a high IQ. I know the world that we live in. I know what the reality is. I don't even want to get deep into that, maybe for the next show. But I know what I'm seeing. And all I'm thinking is anything can happen from today to tomorrow. I'm going to enjoy life. This is my life. If you don't like it, it's okay. If I don't speak or show you that, I'm here talking about thousands and thousands of dollars, it's like, look, you can have all that. What do you have in place if something happens? Who's going to have your thousands and thousands of dollars when you're not here? We can sit there and talk about money and be a show off because that's what I call it. It's being a show off. You've worked hard for what you have, great. I am too. But at the same time, I'm not going to kill myself. Again, that saying about you can be here and gone the next minute and your job could be replaced in a couple of hours the next day. That's it. You're easily replaceable. So I know that another thing we were talking about from the last show that one of my friends brought up was the fact about safety when you're meeting someone and you want to make sure that you let people know that you're safe or how the person looks. So when we were talking about a guy doing it to a woman, my friend heard the show and he was like, that just sounds kind of creepy because he said like if you taking a picture of a woman, but which of course we shouldn't have to. That's why the profile pictures are there. But we also forget that we get catfished a lot, so we don't know from the picture, the picture to the person, if it's going to be the same thing because we get catfished a lot. Uh, so he was saying like if you took a picture of a person, or if you took a picture of the license plate, but I feel like maybe things need to be done in a way where it's not so that it doesn't come off as creepy. I feel that men can also end up in situations that could be messed up. Like when I'm saying in situations like let's say if they meet a woman, but this woman's on some he's interested, let me invite him here and then have somebody to rob him. You know what I mean? So we always still have to be cautious, whether men or women. So I get it. It might seem creepy. It could, it plays a big part. Um, and then also, we also have to be we have to learn about those boundaries and those things about like you have to take care of you and that it's okay to say no to something. So if you ever meet someone and not the same person you met, you have a right to walk away. You have a right to say, hey, thank you, have a good night, whatever you decide to do from that moment. Because again, these things are very important. The words yes and the word no, we have a right to use it how we want to. And anything that we say should always be respected. That's the main thing. I am at a place where, like I've said before, I'm not here for fun. That's not all I want. But I did say, I think I gave a lot of information from the last time about the dating in this generation, but the apps, like I said before, it seems like they're everywhere. jumping from one site to another site, and you're just like, oh my goodness, I can't lose this person. I was like, I don't know if the half of the world has turned into where we're just out here chilling and we just want to have sex and that's it and call it a day. It shouldn't be like that, but it is. And what can we do? Again, we have a right to just say no, keep it moving, or just let it be. But it's already June, pretty soon coming into July in a couple of days. And 2023 has been pretty good for me. I'm very proud of myself in this journey. I'm very proud of everything. It's been great. Like, you don't even understand. Like, my friends see a difference too about like what I'm willing to not tolerate anymore. What basically I want and what I said what I wanted. And that's where that's how it should be, right? The whole boundaries and self care is very important. I'm going to say it again because you don't know how much I would have to stress that in any video, depending on what the conversation is. Self care is very, very, very important. Boundaries, oh my goodness, boundaries are important. Like I said, no matter if you're in a relationship with your friends, your family, whoever it is, all of these things are very important. What else do I want to say? I'm just going to say, I'm like I said, I'm very proud of myself. I'm very proud of myself, and especially into this new year, because anybody that knows me knows that I've been through a lot over the past 2 years, because I'm not even just going to say last year, over the past 2 years, and a light bulb, a realization, all of that just occurred. And I'm just like, it hit me when I'm just like, why am I doing this to myself? I'm okay with saying certain things, whether people get mad, they laugh at me. I'm okay with that because I don't want to be in a situation where this is what I'm going to have to deal with. This is not how I want things to end up. I am in a place where I'm not going to tolerate disrespect and any type of nonsense, because why? Just because you're a low key narcissist that nobody sees until you come across me, a manipulator, a gaslighter, you are messing with the wrong one. Like I said, even if anybody was with me listening, all you have to do is sit there and listen. A person will tell you who they are. That's all you got to do is just listen. They will tell you who they are. There's so many. Oh my goodness. I'm telling you. I wish I could like record these conversations or make a script out of it and have somebody else read it, but it's been pretty interesting. And it just lets you know like what's happening out there in the world and what's happening with people. And again, it sucks because I've known some people have been in relationships, long relationships, and now they're just getting out of it. And I'm just kind of like, oh, right before I decide to end. But definitely what I wanted to say is anybody who's out there, even if it's not just my friends and anybody who comes across this video, read the profiles. Read the profile. I wish that some of you would just stop being so thirsty and so just like, oh my goodness, I like how her pictures look, and then you just say forget it. I appreciate those who actually took the time to read the profile, but I needed you to read that main thing on that profile that says looking for long term. I love, and oh, as they say, bless your little heart. I love how some of them will still take a chance, and I'm just kind of like, did you really read my profile? Or did you read it and you were just like, F it, right? I'm still gonna try to see. Like, no, there is no trying to see. Did I not tell you I'm in a different place? There is nothing to see. You're not gonna get me to go through with anything that you're doing. I put looking for long-term relationship in any profile that I've had, and that's what I'm looking for. Nothing more, nothing less. And I think that's really important because it would be good so that we're both on the same page, and I get it because I've made mistakes like that too. I'm not, I mean, sometimes I feel like I've actually made sure I would look at the page because I was always looking for that part at the bottom, either the bottom or the top, depending on the site you're on. I would always look to see, and sometimes it wouldn't have it. So when, of course, again, the most important, as I was saying about the conversations are very important. When I would ask, what are you looking for? Because that's very important. So I'm going to say goodnight. And again, I wish everyone and anyone out there the best of luck also in your dating journey, that you find someone, that you also make sure that you look for those red flags, that you ask those right questions, that you listen, that you make sure that you listen, and safety. Safety all the time. Safety first. Make sure, because we're living in a world where, even though it has happened before, but where it's so advanced because of technology, just be careful out there. So, with that being said, thank you so much for listening, for your support. I have been on other streaming apps that I've been posting to, like Spotify, and which is the other? Oh, Spotify and SoundCloud, and I do have it under my name. I can always share it when I'm gonna share it one day when I screenshot it so that you can see. And yes, so as I always say, enjoy life, live life to the fullest, because this is the only life we have. Next show that I'm having is, we're talking about, do you know where you come from? I'm My mom is Hispanic, Puerto Rican, grandfather's from Puerto Rico, and when I really watch some videos on Instagram or just social media, and people really don't even know the song of the national, the anthem song of their country, and I'm just like, ooh, I'm on that same boat. I should know my history if anybody asked me, if people were just curious, or we would think that everybody would know things, but we all don't. I don't know that, but I think it's a good thing to talk about, and some other things that I definitely wanted to bring up. So with that being said, again, good night until next time.